Township Board of Trustees regular meeting of July 12th, 2022 at 6 p.m. to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Kuchar.
Yes, here.
Seitz.
Here.
Campbell.
Here.
Please.
Present.
Wolfgang.
Here.
Fitzpatrick.
Here.
Luncheon.
Here. Free public input. None. Approval of the agenda.
I would make a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Or
It's been moved and supported to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Declaration of conflict of interest. Anything on the agenda anybody has conflict with? I will disclose, the person that we are offering our DPW water sewer operator, he is a relative of mine. I don't think that is legally a conflict because there's no financial gain benefit for me.
He's not gonna pay you.
But he is my little cousin.
Cool.
There's a nickname.
Yes. That's it.
Item 7, presentation and special reports. Brad is probably at Garfield. Community police officer.
Good evening, Matt Trustee, Blair Township, Community Police Officer. The June 2022 report. 2 arrests, 8 citations, 47 complaints, 3 traffic crashes, 3 warrants attained, 2 declined. An update, the catalytic converter thefts of January. I received, if you remember back, the one guy, he crawled under, down in a house down in 1037 by Norton Road, he crawled under a bunch of this guys. He has a bunch of antique cars over there near the mower shop. He crawled under in the snow and cut a bunch of catalytic converters, and I noticed a little spot in the snow, and I thought he either spit some mucus up or he like did a farmer blow, like a snot rocket. And it had snowed like an inch, but I looked under there and I thought, there was a little bit of reddish, so I thought could be some blood in there. So I collected it, and it turns out there was blood in there, so then I did a search warrant for him at the Wexford County Jail, drove down there, got his DNA. And in June, the state police crime lab told me that it matched him, so he has more charges. So that's cool.
that's good job, man.
Kind of gross, but
Was it frozen?
yes, it was.
Preserved.
But I wiggled it around with the Q-tip long enough to absorb. Attacks in the township park in June. There were 2 of them, actually in the woods, but still on our property. On 6/1 and 6/18, there were 2 assaults at the township park. On the first, a 16-year-old boy was lured by his ex-girlfriend and her new boyfriend to meet. He thought they were meeting, I think, for some love, and instead they attacked him and beat him up. They injured his eye, his left eye, very badly. It was huge, the whole saw. Then on the 18th, I go out there for another 17-year-old boy who was attacked. And it turns out that the previous boy who was the victim and his new girlfriend did the same thing to this boy. Lured him into the woods, promising love with the new girlfriend, and beat him up. Not as bad though. So the first couple have been charged, and the second couple will be charged.
The moral to the story, there's no love in those woods.
If you get on Instagram and still wants to meet you in those woods, don't go back there. Patrick.
No love in the woods. Treasurer's report.
Okay, we have the general fund at $4,747,607. The public safety fund at $1,086,864. Ambulance fund at $1,005,563. Metro Act fund at $17,258. Liquor law enforcement fund at $35,097. Milfoil fund at $7,871. Sewer fund at $1,970,547. Water fund at $2,867,751. Current tax collections $24,348. And payroll fund is at a credit of $312 for a total of $11,762,904.31.
Any questions for Tracy? Oh, road commission. Hi. I removed road commission from our agenda.
Well, we
because
apologize for that since we lost Bill last fall. We've been trying to get things back in running. Joe Underwood, Vice Chair of the Grand Traverse County Road Commission. Just a few things. One, Keystone Road, thank you for your patience. It is ahead of schedule by a week or so, maybe two. Some rain, so that'll be open hopefully before we anticipate it. And things are moving fast. I mean, I drove through the other day and they were starting the soccer field entrance, so that's fantastic. Phase 1 of the east-west corridor, it appears federal government's gonna approve that, so we're gonna move into phase 2, which is the environmental impact, property impact, slight design. We have a design in mind. The design should take up no more than 1 acre of wetland. So it's gonna be a high bridge, long bridge. When that gets designed, we'll bring them out so you can see it. Vance Road, tree clearing. Improve that, you know, the DNR's back there harvesting wood, which opens up funds for us. So in cooperation with you folks, we're moving Vance Road along through there. We did finish the purchase of the Kingsley property. We're gonna be building a new Kingsley garage. Moving from the present 113 just up the road past to the east side of Paradise Township Hall. We'll be putting a new facility back in there. Hopefully it'll be up and running a year from now, maybe a little longer. And then has Brad or any of the township or any of our board members been out to talk to you about how we're gonna share money with townships? So
They
have
had
an
us-
opportunity to do that.
They had us come to the road commission.
We went in there, but if we could actually have one of
Okay.
you come out
Brad's on
there.
vacation right now, but when Brad gets back, myself or Jason Gilman maybe, will come out and talk to you. We're gonna operate that. Get that going. We are, last night a couple of things came up. We're still working on our City Works as a real-time live interaction thing on the internet. You'll be able to go in and do some things. And traffic control for the lights, it's called the SCOOP program. Should have been up and running by now, but we have some, as they say, supply chain issues with Siemens and some things that we need from them. So as soon as we get those, we'll have the time synchronized across South Airport to help. Fortunately, it's probably after this. Yeah, but again, I want to thank you all for your patience on still coming back south. You know, we dumped 10,000 vehicles onto South Airport. That's how many use Keystone a day. So.
What is the target date for that?
The original target date was like the second week of September.
Okay.
So if they stay ahead of schedule, they'd be
Before Labor Day?
over the weekend. So
And how far down the road is the east-west corridor before a decision saying, okay, we can build this?
as long as we keep getting approved, we're gonna keep moving forward. The next phase is about 15 to 18 months. And then at the middle end of that, we begin design phase. So phase 1 approved, phase 2 approved, we're already to phase 3. I don't wanna project when we'll get to build it, but it won't be for the next 18 months. But it is, I have seen the sketch, and it is high, it's like, 95 feet high, 112 feet long, so it's gonna be a rather large, high bridge. But like I said, the impact to the wetlands. I've been around a long time. Originally, they were building down along the base, put a culvert to go across the top. Well, we're gonna go across the whole thing, so the whole wetlands area, so. Anything else I'm gonna take back? I'll make sure that we get out here to talk to you about how we're gonna do the cost share and stuff. So, do you guys, on the priming, do you guys do priming on here? Do you like the new product that we?
I've not gotten one complaint yet, and it's been really dry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Thanks for
Thanks,
coming
Joe.
out here.
Announcements and correspondence. Water loss committee update.
Okay, I have a few. We had a meeting. On the 7th, all commercial meters are installed now, everything's going. Since February, we've had 4 major leaks, that they've been dealing with. All cross connections are done. We're waiting for the approval so that they have a third person on staff. Patrick sent gave us reports on shortages still. I think we were at 36%, but the last 2 months obviously aren't accurate because we're not getting accurate readings from commercial readings.
And we repaired 2 leaks in June.
Yeah. One was down by the,
Blair Town Hall Road and Carter.
yeah, perfect.
That was what?
And when is your meeting with the county on the sewer for potato chip and
Well, we had it on Monday.
in the car wash?
Yep.
And that, so that's that. I talked to Lisa right before I did the meeting tonight. She's still in touch with the SNA on getting the information into her system so that we can quit estimating. Mike Martin was here today, and he's our Metron rep, and he sent me a quote for 50 meters. We have 50 meters in our commercial district that as of December 31st, they're on a 2G network, and as of 31st of December, Verizon will not allow them on the network, so they sunset, is what he says. So by December 31st, so next month I will get the information out so that we can go over. Right now it's at 16,000. He said being only 50 meters, probably a local plumber is what we're gonna need to have them installed. Opposed to them finding somebody, because with such few meters, it's gonna be hard for them to find somebody to come in and do it.
So all these new commercial meters are a 5G that we just had installed?
Yes. And even the 4G, I think he said will extend out with the LTE network.
Yeah.
It was just these 2Gs that aren't going to.
How old are the 52Gs that we?
They are the first ones we put in, which, when did we go to Metron?
Well,
2000,
it was before Nicole was supervisor.
yeah.
So 2015, 14, 15.
I think it was 14.
So we're.
And we knew that was coming. They explained that to us when we bought them.
Do you have anything to add?
One thing I think, I was surprised what them car bearings verified at 610 curb stops, which can cause problems.
That's what And I think that's still, in my mind, that's still a little high. I had Jake run reports out of the UV billing module and the special assessment module and compare if there was a account in special assessment, did they have something in UV billing? Because that would tell us then they're hooked up. So we had 610 special assessment accounts that did not have something.
Yeah.
But what you have to think about is how they're set up. So it could be one across the front of Vance. Well, now that's a development in a subdivision, whatever they call them now, not subdivision, but site condos and development in there, which I still think 610 is high, but I think we're getting close.
So you're talking about curb stops that aren't
Hooked up. Yeah.
Which, like I said, I know 3 or something.
And
I got one at 5110, I got one at
Carl
5124,
and
one at
Lisa
5138.
said they were pretty close. Me and Trucker think it's high.
I do. Well, we have 1,400 on the water right now. I mean, 600 is like, that's like a third, you know? I mean, I just can't visualize that many homes or businesses that aren't hooked up. In my head, I would
can't
say
in my
between
head
300 and 400.
Figure out why we can't figure that out.
I know,
Are there
it should
not
be now.
as-built
No, it should be
It's
on the,
610, that's a lot. So
Yeah.
why do we not have a clue? I can't in my head figure that one out. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Well, for me, I mean, for my office, it's builds. You know,
Bills.
build the building, you know, the development. Because, I mean, you're looking at a system that was put in 98 and how much has changed from 98 till today. So we're trying to match apples to oranges and we're getting a rough estimate. Does that make sense?
Not so much.
It does up in here.
I have a
I think the
question,
number is more
Patrick,
around 300.
and this is because I don't know water systems. Do you normally, is there a reason to put in a curb stop before somebody's
Well,
connected?
for one,
Yes.
it's the excavation is done right then and there.
Okay,
And the township makes money right then and there, it's paid for. And then, but then they sit,
right.
so, you know,
But like all Maple Trail, I think it was one that they said there's nobody, Old Maple,
yeah, there's a
They're
few
not-
people on the water in there.
Majority aren't on the water. The Irons,
Ironwoods,
Plain-
that
Plain.
Plainfield, Metalwoods, and,
So we have several of the older,
Belvedere.
Okay, so I get that, my brain can comprehend that. So why don't we do a leak detection on Old Maple Trail and in the Ironwoods and in the areas where we know that they're not connected and supposedly, because we learn this as we go,
Mhm.
there's supposed to be a curb stop. But if we invest some time and energy in doing another leak detection on the curb stops,
that was our end goal. My goal was trying to get it down so we know where the abandoned curb stops are, or the unused. I don't wanna say abandoned.
Yeah, that's, if we're gonna do leak detection on just those, we need to know which ones they are.
which needs to be something that we need to think about, whether with ARPA funds or finding grant opportunities. We need to get our own leak detection monitoring machine.
And you know, as soon as we get a baseline on these commercial meters, we'll get an idea of if that's part of our water loss.
So we're 2 months now of estimating on the commercial,
Yes. So it'll be
Installs.
2
So
months
are
before we get a,
figuring that
accurate
it'll
read.
be,
yeah.
will we get actual readings?
And
Please
that's
don't
if
ask
there's
me that
no,
question.
issues with the program. Because with the estimates, some of the billing, there's negative usage. And that's all the program's gotta calculate all that now? Cause
We
she's been
wanted to do it
estimating.
today. BSNA wanted to. Mike Martin got a hold of them, they said they'd do it today, and Lisa said she couldn't do it today.
And they even said that the longer you go, if you're estimating, if you end up having negative water usage, it screws the program up.
I
I don't know.
read that email. I think his exact words were, this will be very detrimental.
Yes, you saw it.
Okay, so board members, we need to do something. This,
I would say we need as a board to get this rolling ASAP. I mean, that's gotta be, the software's gotta be dumped into the system so we can start billing.
yeah, because it was last
I
month's
agree.
read where the words were, and this was from BSNA.
Please
Very-
don't wait any longer.
This will be very detrimental. And so we estimated, and now what we don't wanna do is wait and estimate again.
I agree.
Okay.
I even volunteered my services.
Does anybody have any questions on Great Lakes or the car wash?
Yeah, how did it go with Great Lakes?
Great Lakes, their grease interceptor, there was there's 3 tanks, and from one tank to the other, there's a pipe for an overflow. You saw it,
I did.
but there's supposed to be a 90 on that because there's a little invert, so the grease can't get up
Mhm.
through that overflow. They didn't put the 90s on, so the water, the grease off the top was going right through from tank to tank to tank to tank. So the county's gonna keep an eye on them. We're gonna keep checking our wet wells. But I think the problem's solved. And they're gonna have their tanks pumped one more time.
The problem solved because they actually put the 90s on, that
Yes.
they forgot to.
Yes.
Okay.
But Josh from the county's in the process of finding out if their sanitary sewer's connected to those grease traps too, which it might be. It doesn't show on the as-bills any detail on that. So that's something else that could be an issue over there. Not for us, but for them. Cause it all goes to our same tank. And then for the car wash, they were having issues with their reclaim. So, they were using double what their other car washes were using in town. So I've seen a drop in discharge into the lift station, so we'll see what happens.
Good. Thank you, Patrick.
You're welcome. And I'll give Josh's report to you guys when I get it.
And who is supposed to get the engineer's report? Did you
I-
reach out to them?
I haven't called you.
Okay,
I'm going to be calling. Talk to him.
We'll get it.
okay,
Yeah, and then they'll come to the board and report.
okay,
He said next month he was gonna have it.
okay.
$10,000 grant was submitted to Rotary Charity, for the TART trails for the next phase of the connection, Blair Township, and the title of the grant was TART Trails Blair Township Trail, which is actually the phase of connecting from where their TART trail leaves off into this. And we already kind of have a proposed second phase done, so hopefully, it's still moving. The TART, I think Julie and Steve had the first meeting with the railroad people yesterday. I have not been updated on, I was not able to attend, I was picking up my nephew at the airport, so I was not able to attend that first meeting, which I was bummed about because I really wanted to, but they said that it was fine and they'd handle it and let me know, so. That's all I know. Blood drive here Thursday, July 21st. July 21st here is a busy day. There's election training. There's a blood drive from 2 to 7. There's a pre-bid meeting for, it's the mandatory, right? Contractor pre-bid meeting. What else? There's one other thing. Oh, the open house. Yeah, there's that. Yeah, it's a busy day. Oh, come and stick your arm out and donate some blood.
I just gave.
Me too.
Any other announcements, correspondence?
You had emailed, Nicole, you had emailed, everybody about this, webinar tomorrow. Wade Trim's got the webinar tomorrow between 12 and 1. Connect the communities to 15-minute city. That looks interesting. And you had sent it to everybody on email the other month, I think it was last month. And it looks good, so I just want to bring it up. I plan on doing it, and if it does get recorded, I'll try and send it to everybody.
They
Okay.
record them.
Good, okay?
And I stopped over to the flat cap,
Oh, yeah.
the old country place. They're doing an awesome job there. I mean, that is really neat. They're gonna have a lot of things going on.
Where's
I
that
think, huh?
Where's that at?
The old, no, what's it?
I
It
call
is
it
the
the old
recycling
country
center.
place, but it used to be,
Used to be the old case
Case
dealership.
Case dealership.
Yeah, but it was a country bar.
Yeah,
Right next to
Long time.
a long time ago.
Or Schmuckle and her hubby's business.
Oh, okay.
When That's
Okay.
all redone, very fancy.
Yeah. I'm with you now.
I think they were kind of surprised to see me locked in there.
Anything else? Consent calendar. The purpose of the consent calendar is to expedite business by grouping non-controversial items together to be dealt with in one board motion without discussion. Any member of the board may ask that any item of consent calendar be removed and placed elsewhere on the agenda for full discussion. Such requests will automatically be respected.
I'd make a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve the consent calendar as presented. Roll call.
Blackshine,
Yes.
Kuchera,
Yes.
Knight,
Yeah,
Campbell,
Yes.
Lees,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Unfinished old business. Quote on pump for the water system.
Okay, so I put some information on the table tonight, because I didn't get these till today. In the packet was a quote from Watson Marlin for 2 pumps. And then there's a quote from Kennedy Industries for the same Watson Marlowe pump, but only one of them. That's the quote for $3,354. And then there's also a quote from Kennedy Industries for a scale and tank.
Yeah. We don't need the tank, just the scale.
So it would be,
Minus the 1,147.
all right. And we do have, I think it's about $3,400 left in bond money from when we sold the bonds for the water treatment plant that we need to spend.
how much?
$4,400.
Well, let's buy one pump and one scale.
That's what I was.
Or can I make a suggestion? Could we get 2 scales or 2 pumps instead? Because we really need 2 pumps back there.
We don't need,
And when we get 1 pump, it has to be the control wires that run off the water meter runs on a milliamp signal, and it paces our gallons per minute, and it adjusts the chemical feed rate on it. And I don't know if we can have two different pumps on the same meter.
So no scale?
Yeah, I'd rather go with the two chemical feed pumps if we could. And you know, with the chemical feed pumps, it'll, for chlorine, with these pumps, we don't have issues with the, like, little Sprite bubbles in there that cause our diaphragm pumps to airlock. So we don't have to dilute it anymore. So it eliminates us mixing chemical, and also when we have to fill our day tank, we'll have to, it'll cut that time in half. We'll be able to go 3-4 days rather than every 2 days. Because right now with the pumps we have, the chlorine's so strong, it makes these little air bubbles, and they'll get in that diaphragm, and that's what causes the issues. These new pumps don't have a diaphragm, and they don't airlock.
So, I get that, to the two pumps, and that makes sense to me.
Mhm.
But as I look at this now, I question this. If we're gonna buy two pumps, we've got a quote here for two pumps from Watson Marlowe
Mhm.
for $6,446. That's $3,223 a piece.
Mhm.
Kennedy Industry only quoted us for one pump.
Because that's what
But-
we wanted.
Well, this is for two pumps, so.
And they
if
just
you
did
ask-
that, they just said for two.
Can I finish,
one and
please?
two, yes.
So, my question is, if we called Kennedy and said, instead of the one pump, we wanna buy two, what kind of price will you give us?
Okay.
It's only $100 difference, but this quote is for two pumps. And generally, if you buy two, you get a better price. They only quoted one, so I don't know that this was a fair quote to them. Since this company, do you copy that?
Mhm.
Does that make sense? So, and I don't know what company you deal with, I don't know if one's more reputable, I don't know if one generally we
This is a
work with.
whole new company, a whole new pump.
I don't know.
Well, it sounds like Watson Marlowe is the manufacturer.
You are correct.
This is one pump.
Yeah.
And these two.
Yeah, it's like $130 difference.
Was
So-
It doesn't matter.
So-
It doesn't.
35, 60.
So if we just approve to purchase two pumps,
At like $6,700.
Okay, I see.
All right, I'll make a motion to purchase two peristaltic pumps not to exceed $6,700.
I'll support.
it's been moved and supported to purchase two peristaltic pumps not to exceed $6,700. Any further discussion?
But you'll call Kennedy and see if you can get.
Yep,
Cause you might be able to get another $100 off.
I might.
Roll call?
Campbell,
Yes.
Blackshine,
Yes.
Leaf,
Yes.
Kuchera,
Yes.
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Zeiss,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes. One question, Lynette. Could you explain what these pumps are?
Sure, Dennis.
Say that one more time.
Okay, new business. I'm actually, okay, Brad, I'm gonna close our regular meeting. Item number 1 under new business, we will be going into closed session and consulting with our attorney. He's got some information for us. This is in regards to the operation services versus Blair Township settlement agreement. So I'm gonna close our regular,
You will need to come back into open session at the end to take a vote, okay?
we'll close this regular meeting at 6:35, and then I would like a motion for us to go into a closed session.
I think should we make the motion first before we close the regular meeting?
Yeah, as long as you're not closing it for the rest of the night. I mean,
No,
You're gonna
yeah,
need to come back into open session.
Yeah.
Okay, I move to go into closed session to consult with our attorney regarding trial or settlement strategy in the pending case of Operation Services, Inc. versus Blair Township, case number 121 CB 1084. Since discussion in open session would have a detrimental financial effect on our litigating or settlement position.
Dennis supported that. Roll call.
Please.
Yes.
Kutra.
Yes.
Wolfgang.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Flanschein.
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Zeiss.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you guys leaving or are we?
You're not mad about every officer like that.
I'm gonna make a motion to come out of closed session at 6:50 PM.
It's been moved and supported to come out of closed session at 6:50 PM. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll come up our regular meeting again at 6:50.
Okay, I will move to approve the terms of the agreement with Operation Services as outlined by our attorney.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve the terms of agreement as recommended,
As outlined by
as
the
outlined
attorney.
by our attorney. Any further discussion? Roll call?
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Wolfgang.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Kutra.
Yes.
Flanschein.
Yes.
Zeiss.
Yes.
Hey Brad?
Yeah.
So do I need to send the minutes of the opens, these minutes where we just made this motion?
We'll prepare a written settlement agreement that we'll need somebody to sign off on. So that
Okay.
will be something that happens. If the other side requests a copy of the minutes, once they've been approved, we can get them to them. I take it that might be until your next meeting.
Right,
But we really don't need anything at this point.
okay,
Yeah, great.
thank
All right,
you.
thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
Brad.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Do we need to find that out? We're not using it in the water anymore?
There's an affidavit you have to prepare in 90 days, but I'll work with you on
Okay.
that. I'll continue.
Thank
Uh-huh.
Number 2, variance request for water service line length for the new Dollar General that's coming in. Next to Kinney Automotive. Is that what it's called?
Oh,
Kinney
is that-
Automotive,
Okay.
across from Tiger Diesel,
What we doing?
another Dollar General.
So we need,
This is another.
well, we have to do it.
1, 2.
1, 2.
I personally don't have an issue with it. I know Fire doesn't in his fire review. Our specs, our length, I think is 150 feet. He's requesting 300 feet.
And I asked Lisa today why our specs are 100 feet. And Nicole said, water pressure. But they are using a 1.5 inch. So
Service line, which typically they're 1-inch lines.
to give them the extra pressure, right?
And it's low demand.
It is low demand. Yeah, they have a toilet and sink. I'll make the motion to grant the variance request for the water service line length for the Dollar General.
Support.
Any further discussion? Do you have anything?
No.
Roll call?
Wolfgang.
Yes.
Zeiss.
Yes.
Kutra.
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Flanschein.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
Item 3, request to hire Jordan Coe as DPW employee water sewer maintenance.
Well,
He was here.
I would move to approve hiring Jordan Coe as water sewer operator at a starting wage of $48,000 per year.
Support.
She rounded that for you.
Wasn't, I thought it was 42.5. Why did I have 42.5 in my head? Wasn't that what the,
That's might have been what we offered Cody.
It was posted.
is 48?
I think it was 40 to 48. Depending on experience, but then we tried to hire Cody and at 42.5 and he's like,
Well, my whole problem with this is we're hiring, he has no experience in the water and that, excavating, yes, and that I see.
No, he has a lot of experience in water.
But we have deputies in that aren't making near this much. And they've been here for several years, and we're starting people out way above what we're paying people that's been here and have shown themselves.
The interview committee interviewed him. He does have a lot of experience in water.
does he?
Well,
Yes.
his resume's not showing
He
anything.
installs water mains, service leads,
Is there,
curb stops.
is there an opportunity for him to get some education along the way?
Yes. And that's the water sampling stuff. He's already got all the physical manual experience.
And our last one, we were doing 42.5. I don't know where the big jump came from.
well, that was partly because when we offered him 42.5, he pretty much laughed us.
Well, he thought that was an hour.
Right.
And we have, I just think, I don't know, my opinion is we're starting way too much compared to what we're paying our people that's been here and shown themselves for several years and that it has dedicated their time and energy and that improved it, and now we're hiring people that are making way over with, I mean, it's not like he's got he doesn't have licenses that they need and stuff. I think that's my,
The difference is the positioning for that. You're not gonna find anybody that's gonna take this stuff for less than that. I don't care whether they have experience or not.
so
We've
the
been
people that we
battling
have
in
here,
pardon?
the people that we have here that's shown ourselves, they should just accept that we keep hiring people that's making a lot more than that.
Well, they're different positions, one, and we do show our employees that we have here with their annual pay raises.
But
We-
we're hiring in somebody that
Taking
Has
part-time
no-
positions. No, he does have experience.
not, okay, I'm not gonna argue about it, that's my opinion.
He's
I
got
think
a-
we're hurting the morale of our people that we have here.
I feel like they're different positions.
Well, of course they're different positions, but we have people that are dedicated, that are showing themselves day in and day out.
And we take care of them
No,
with
we,
their annual
Okay.
raises. We've taken
we're
part-time
taking care of them
positions
by
and-
showing them we're gonna hire new people making $5,000-6,000 more a year than what they're making.
Well,
That's
if
how
they
we're
were
taking care of them.
Working in an office position, probably not. But
No,
this is a
because we
complete-
just hired an office position making a lot more than what they're making.
they're completely different positions.
Well-
I mean, just like our paramedic firefighters. That's my opinion.
That's just my opinion. I think we're
It's
starting.
also the economy right now. People aren't taking
So then why
jobs
don't we
for
look at
that.
our deputies, because they're in that
Yeah.
same economy.
We will when it comes time for that. I mean, we just don't in the middle Or could we
Right,
just
so
finish
now
our budget?
right, because for July 1st, but we're hiring somebody making more than our what is that showing our deputies? What kind of message are we sending to our
Tracy,
employees?
I understand completely. That's like saying, okay, I have a doctor.
No,
No, it is.
No.
Absolutely.
No, because,
He's
I mean,
going
I
to
have
deal
a
with-
4-year
what he wants
degree
to
and I
say.
don't make the most money here. Right? And I have the degree.
Tracy, let him finish what he's trying to explain,
So
instead of
anyways,
interrupting.
every job has certain jobs that
I
are
agree.
specific to it. And it's a big difference. And unfortunately, we have to pay more for this type of position than what we would normally want to pay. And wanting to pay and trying to get somebody good, that's gonna last. We might have to pay a couple thousand more, but in the long run, it'll be good. Now, next year, when the budget comes up, we'll look at those people. We've already done that, and I think everybody's happy. I understand if they're
Well,
coming
you
in.
think everybody's happy because you don't work in this environment. I hear the talk, or I wouldn't say anything. If I haven't heard stuff, I wouldn't repeat it. I just stick up for the employees. Because I don't want to lose them.
Oh.
And we're headed down this trail of just not appreciating what we have.
I appreciate what we have very much. And I feel
Are
like
you, so
I
what
do
you're
advocate
saying,
for
I'm
them.
sorry. You're saying we don't appreciate him monetarily.
Right. We're not showing appreciation.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
That position was posted twice. There was plenty of opportunity for anybody that worked here to apply. for
That position's been posted 4 times.
4 times,
actually.
and anybody here, everybody knew about it, they could have applied for the position and went for more money. That's how I see it.
Exactly.
Well, not when it was 42.5, the last one, and now we're 48.
I think
It
it
was
was
a
from
pay
42
range.
to 48.
Yes.
The first one was 42 to 48. So anybody could have applied for that position.
I'm done talking about, I've said my piece.
And we
I,
got one.
they know who
3.
fights for them.
So that's just how I see it. If those people want to make more money, then they should have applied for the job.
So if you don't want to make more money, just go sit in my office, is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Because it's not very important.
it's how you perceive it.
Any further discussion?
Okay. Just, okay, how do I say it? Don't worry about I just wanna know one thing. I'm one of those guys that look at history of Grand Traverse County, okay? And I knew a Don Cole, C-O-E, that owned part of, him and Kermit Campbell, had Black Star Farms, winery and all that. Now just Kermit Campbell does, 'cause Don retired. Is that any relation to you guys?
I wish.
Because
Right.
Black Star Farms was one of my customers for 10 years.
Yeah.
And he was.
I didn't hear that,
I
but
wish he
that's
was.
funny.
And then Kermit Campbell selling.
You would know if he was.
So what's the point? Oh, you're
Just
just,
curious.
no.
Nothing to do with your qualification, it's just, who do you know?
No, I really do wish that was on both ours.
But I want to tell you one thing, okay, I want to say one thing. You will be paid that much money, but I also know one thing, you're gonna work your ass off. You're gonna be out there in the hot sun too. And you're gonna be doing hard work.
I do heavy machinery
And,
work
right,
construction.
and Tracy, I feel for you, but you're right
You
now.
don't have feel for me, I make what I want to make.
I know, I feel for the deputies, okay, the deputies here. I feel for that, but right now, just like Don said, right now, we have to pay enough to find somebody that's willing to work, and has the qualification and willing, even if they don't, as I said the last time now I even forgot the guy's name that we're gonna hire. As a sidekick, and then being Patrick's sidekick.
Well, I'll tell you, you're not
And
going
learn
to
the trade
get.
and be licensed, and, you learn the trade. And I really hope you do. I really hope you keep, in mind, and then keep going and learn as much as Patrick as you can.
Well, I can give you a little background. I skipped college and I went right to work right out of school. I did a little semester, I did a little stint in college,
I made my friends, made my buddies, and then I moved out to Iowa and I started working cattle industry. So I've been doing nothing since busting my back since I was 19 years old. It's what I know. It's what I love. You can see
So
me.
actually, you're supposed to learn enough to take over Patrick's job, okay?
Right. All right. We can do that.
My goal is for him to be better than me.
Yes, exactly.
We're not gonna get any better deputies than what we have today.
I agree with that.
I do too.
So if we don't appreciate them, we'll be getting somebody
Well,
coming from Burger
He
King.
said it again, and I'll say it again. I appreciate him very much. So, any further discussion on hiring him? Roll call?
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Longshine,
Yes.
Kuchar,
Yes.
Zeiss.
Yeah.
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Campbell,
No,
please. Yes.
Purchase of trailer for DPW.
I know Ryan told me we have a trailer, but the tractor won't fit on that trailer, right?
The lawnmower doesn't fit on that dump trailer. And he
Okay.
needs this for cemetery,
Yes.
for the dirt
Yeah.
and,
so what, is it coming out of DPW or is it coming out of cemetery
We don't
budget?
have a DPW.
Or is it coming out of
budget
water
center.
sewer or is it coming out of cemetery budget?
I would say both.
That's why I asked, cause I don't know.
Well, just makes things a little more difficult when you do depreciation. If it's paid out of one enterprise account and one non-enterprise account, but guess the auditors can tell me how to deal with that.
If you're just doing straight line depreciation, it's not hard.
I don't think it needs to come out of sewer, just water and the cemetery budget doesn't have a line item for equipment, but town hall and grounds does.
I say take it out of that,
It could be considered grounds.
yeah. That's what I would suggest.
Town hall and grounds and water.
No, I would just say town hall grounds, cover it all.
Well, but it doesn't, I mean, it's gonna be used for water stuff. That's
not-
separate money.
Grounds,
Yeah,
grounds.
we use because
Yeah.
we have no way of hauling those lawnmowers
Mowers, right.
to the tanks right now, or the lift stations.
Mm-hmm.
So some of it should come out of water.
Whatever you decide, but that's the one thing that, I mean, Ryan's bringing in his trailer right now to haul the lawnmower.
Is this wide enough between the wheel wells for the tractor to fit?
That I don't know. I didn't do the, Roger, do you know?
Yes.
It is? Okay.
And how long is this, Roger?
I think it's 18
18 feet.
18 feet.
Where are we gonna store it when it's not in use?
You're off.
Yeah.
The old fire barn when they move out.
Well, that's gonna be a while. I just don't want somebody to come hook up to it and take off with it.
Oh, you put a lock.
Yeah, you put a lock on
You can park it over at my house, that's fine. No, I got cutters.
That's what I would suggest, but I just was wondering where it's coming out of. Cause the grounds are covering, I mean, he's using it for the grounds around the water, not so much for water, but
Exactly.
to make the,
Could you put it in the grounds and rent it to the others too?
I would just say leave it right there on town hall grounds.
Cause it's grounds, those are our properties,
Yeah,
and we got a lot more grounds that
that'll be used
it'll
for
be used for.
the park, or well, I guess you won't need it for that.
Well, I'd make a motion to approve the trailer for the DPW and grounds and cemetery.
No, just town hall
Just
grounds.
town hall.
Oh, town hall and grounds, okay, so it's not,
The money's coming out of town hall and grounds budget. Not to exceed 6,800.
6,800.
That's the, of the door price. Oh, yeah, he wants a spare tire too.
I think you were talking about that, so I don't know what.
So, how much do you think a spare tire costs for a trailer?
Yeah, I was gonna say
$200, did you say?
I'd say not to exceed.
All right, not to exceed
$7,000. $7,000.
Well, I don't like to cut it that close.
It'll work.
Plus, we need to get a lock. How much does a lock cost?
We got locks out back, padlocks.
All right,
We could pick one
not
up
to
at
exceed
eight.
$7,000.
Is that okay, John?
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, Dennis.
To put the spare tire,
Just to add it to your motion, not to exceed $7,000.
okay,
That work for you?
yes, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's been moved and supported to approve the purchase of a. I thought one I did.
I didn't hear, no.
I'll support that. I'll support it.
It's been moved and supported to approve the purchase of a DPW trailer not to exceed $7,000 to be paid for out of town hall and grounds. Any further discussion?
yes.
Okay.
To, have the spare tire on hand, you're gonna have to have a tire holder on the side of the trailer. Does that come with it, or is that extra?
Now, see, I don't know, I wouldn't think of that, I just.
So you can throw
Because I
it
know
in.
on my trailer, tire holder.
Just drag it along the pedal.
Oh,
Oh, on this front, I see what you mean.
Oh, that's not a good idea. People can steal it. This is true. Oh, whatever, I just wondered.
That's just to ask, that does include the spare tires,
Just tell them to throw in the spare tire, we're not gonna buy it.
So that has a spare tire carrier on it. It's included spare tire carrier.
Does it say that?
The one that's, the C-channel one?
Yeah, the tire doesn't come with it.
No, tire doesn't come, but the spare
But
tire
the
carrier comes with
carrier
it.
does.
Yeah.
The carrier does come with it.
Yep.
Any further discussion?
Okay.
Roll call?
Kuchera,
Yes.
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Pleat.
Yes.
Blashine.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
yes.
Dyke.
Yeah.
Campbell.
Yes.
Item 5, employment contract for Aaron Coleman and Nancy Blanky for fiscal year 2022-2023.
Yeah, this should have come in June, but Willie and I had a miscommunication. So they're employees now, but we still do a contract with them. And this is the new contract. Nothing, the price hasn't changed. It's just the months that we're gonna pay them in. I think they had October or August in there before, and now they're getting rid of August and adding November. Just
Okay.
You know, I just have a question. I guess I'm full of questions tonight. Well, my whole thought process, not to say Aaron and Nancy aren't old, but they are. But
careful.
Well,
I'm
the thing
telling
is.
them you said that.
I'll tell her after she shines my rock. By doing a contract with them, you do know we're stipulated to pay them whether
They
they,
meet that expectation or not.
right, I mean, when you have a employment contract for a certain period, we would have to cover that period.
Well, we had to make them employees.
Yeah, I know, and I understand all that, I just wanna make sure that we're all understanding that even if something happens.
That we
Because
would still.
Aaron, I don't know if everybody knows, but Aaron's living with his parents now
Right.
because they're old. You know, they're older and he's taking care of them. If at any point during this year that he couldn't work because it's become too much, we're still obligated, if they sign contracts, to pay him for the year. That's just what I'm saying. I mean, I don't think he would ever do that to us. I mean, he would try
Well, he
his
might
hard-
not
have a choice. Right. Right, and I'm okay with it, I just wanted
No,
everybody to,
Sure. I'm glad
anytime
said
you
that.
go into an employment contract, that you're no longer an at-will employee.
I'll make a motion to approve the employee contract, enter into an agreement with Aaron Plowman for fiscal year 2022-2023 as presented.
And Nancy Blank.
I was gonna do
Oh,
them separate.
okay.
Support.
That's my motion.
Okay.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Blackshine,
Yes.
please. Yes. Like,
Yes.
Kuchera,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes,
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
And I will make the same motion to enter into contract with Nancy Blanky for the 2022-2023 fiscal year.
Support.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Kuchera,
Yes.
Campbell,
yes,
Wolfgang,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Dyke,
Yes.
Blackshine.
Yes.
Who am I missing? Please.
Yes.
Item 6, approve contract with the Northwestern Michigan Fair.
This is the normal annual contract that's been in place previously. It's the only thing that's changed is the dates of the special events. And one event required more apparatus, I think, so the dollars won't change accordingly, but other than that, it's the same.
I would move to approve the contract with Northwest Michigan Fair for 2022.
It's been moved and supported to approve the contract with the Northwestern Michigan Fair for 2022 as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Goody for you. Item 7, request to reevaluate change employee handbook, specifically the paid holidays. Did you guys get a chance to read Eric's letter? I think it's in his, did you guys see it?
yeah, I did. Right on this picture.
Right here in front of me?
Yeah.
This one?
I know there's been a lot of changes, a lot of positive changes to the handbook. And sometimes when you read through that, you overlook some of the details that all runs together. I didn't realize this until Kim started working, and she asked about working July 5th. Well, by the policy, she had to work to get her hours in. And that left more thoughts of what happens if we hire somebody to November 1, then they have the election, they have Thanksgiving the day after, Christmas, New Year's. Do they get their 40 hours a week? Do they have to work the holidays? That
I
just
agree.
didn't seem right to me. But yet, if we hire somebody on April 1, they go 90 days with one holiday. So I don't think it's fair for one new employee to the other to ask them to go 90 day probation without holiday pay.
You start January 2nd, you miss on that.
Right, but like his point, if we
I
have somebody in
agree.
November, we're closed for Thanksgiving, I mean, we're gonna tell the employee,
You don't get
You
paid
don't
for
get
2
paid.
weeks. They're close. I agree.
I mean, we're trying to improve ways to,
I don't necessarily agree with it, but that's just my opinion. I think we have a very generous holiday pay schedule, and it's 90 days. I mean, I get depending on when they start, I get that. Just don't put your job, or don't come to a new job in November.
Whether we need you or not.
I don't even find humor in that statement, especially in this market, you know, we're trying to gain and obtain, and
Especially
we
because
do.
election is November.
right, and we do have a very generous holiday packet that anybody is covered if they've been here 90 days, and we're talking about 6 employees this impacts, let's be honest. We're salaried, the 3 of us,
Mhm.
Eric, Parker, I mean, we're talking about the 2 deputies and the people in the back. And Kim, yeah.
Brian.
And like Eric said, we hire somebody in November, well, there's 2 holidays in November, and this is a career for people. You know, you gotta take the day off without pay.
And with this economy, you can't afford to get for gas the next week if you don't get paid 2
I
days.
turn my notice in, I can't get.
And health insurance starts right away.
Right.
Mhm.
I'd make a motion to request the removal of the 90-day service from paid holidays in Blair Township employee handbook.
I'll support.
It's been moved and supported to remove the 90 days of service from the paid holiday in the employee handbook. And start
With
holiday
Kim.
pay.
There is no 90.
I mean, we're gonna have to rewrite the policies, what we have to do.
Mhm.
There's no 90-day probation.
But I think we should give it to Kim.
She had no problem working with this, she wasn't complaining, she was just asking out of clarity. So, I don't know when you can start or.
Well, I would say it would start as of today, yeah.
Okay.
But y'all gonna have to bring your employee handbooks into me, and or if I give you the new page, you're gonna have to make sure you insert it in your employee handbook.
I'll bring it.
Yeah, bring the bill order.
Any further discussion? Roll call?
Please.
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Light,
Yes.
Wolfgang,
I'm gonna be the no vote this time.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Flanschein,
Yes.
Kuchar.
Extended public input.
I just wanted to say we've been having a lot of difficulties with the website. I think part of it is up and running at this point, but we're either gonna have to decide if they can't get us into the .gov on the website, because Wendy's business cards and my business cards both have .gov for website. So we're either gonna, hopefully by next meeting, if they can't get us there, we're either gonna have to scrap their business cards and go back to .org, or make a decision, I don't know. I don't know.
Why can't they do that?
Well, we don't own the domain for .gov, so our host won't host a .gov. So I've had IT Right involved, I had Revise involved. Revise said they could do it for $400 a year, but he's not sure that they could do it. But he would still charge us $400 a year. First we didn't have a website for a few days, and then we had the old website for a day or so, and it's been a trying time.
Trace, did you by any chance talk to IT at the county?
I have not talked to IT at the county. I was hoping that IT right would run with it since there are IT people.
And they're not?
No, they just keep telling me that it's not them, but they're the ones that have our .gov for our emails. So they're doing our emails .gov.
And I thought,
I've talked to .gov a couple times.
I thought that was the process that Cindy did when we got approved for the .gov.
I don't
But maybe
know
that's not.
what happened. I mean, I wasn't involved in any of that until
Until it crashed.
until Wendy came and said, this is what my website is, and it's not right.
Because we still had a contract, we still had money, prepaid money to have for that one. So I would think if you contact .gov people, they should be able to.
They said
should be able to
.gov,
apply for a.
well, .gov says we can use it, but it's just getting somebody that can host it. Right now, Network Solutions can't host it.
And that's just that you may have to get a different
Host system.
host system. That's how it's see what they use.
I'm guessing they do their own. They have a big IT department
Yeah.
there. My guess is they have a whole in-house IT department. But I'm not quitting.
Thanks for not quitting on that.
I'm not quitting. I will beat them somehow or another, or we'll just redo our business cards. I mean, if it comes down to it, we'll just
Well, part of the reason we did this though, this .gov thing, is so that people knew when they went to our website that they were getting,
No, when they got our emails, they knew they were getting official .gov.
no, even if they were going to our website, that it was,
More legit,
huh?
more legit.
I just remember
Yes.
that we didn't have the exact information in front of us, and when I voted for it, I voted yes if it didn't cost us anything, because we didn't even know how much this was gonna cost us.
with the if we get a .gov website, it's still going to the .org. It's just going to be redirected to .gov at this point. I mean, unless somebody else wants to take over and run with it. And
I will call the county tomorrow and see if they can give me any,
idea on that.
yeah, and I might need to, because if they start talking,
I know.
you know, yeah, then,
Well, just make sure that you share that communication, whatever you hear, that it's communicated. And even when the emails switched, staff didn't know about it. So everybody's on the same page. And don't give up, thanks.
I'm not giving up. I'm not
Don't let it
giving up.
defeat you, Trace.
I will beat them at their own game.
Any more extended public input? Motion to adjourn. 18:28.